How are you liking Steam's new GUI design? It's a hard, It hasn't really improved on much for me, and it's different, and different is weird. So I haven't seen anything about Steam's new UI that I'm like, oh yeah, this is much better. Like I just now. Oh. Time out. This part is kind of run of the mill, whatever. This part's whatever. This part is awesome. So they added like the ability to bring up guides in game, which is great. They added a notepad, so you can like, hey, this is a note, and then you can pin it and then have that show up on your game overlay. You can even go in and like set the transparency so it shows up a little bit less. So you can like do RPGs and like have a notepad in your game right there. That stuff is awesome. So this whole thing is fantastic. So you can go in and like, and any of the stuff that you bring up in here, you can take a screenshot in the game of like a puzzle or something. And then you can put that screenshot, right? You can put that screenshot. I don't know how we did it. Okay, real talk. I did this earlier, but you can like post your screenshot in the game and then put it like up in the corner and pin it. And then you can look at that as you solve a puzzle in another part of the game, which is super cool. So the overlay stuff is great. I love the overlay stuff. Anything you can pin and it shows up in your game window, which is fantastic. This stuff's great. But like the general, this stuff, I don't feel like enough change to really be worth anything. It seems pretty normal. What was that H1Z1 screenshot? Oh God, I don't use Steam screenshots. Hold on. I don't even know, dude. Oh, here's a screenshot from... I have no clue what any of this is. Again, most of my screenshots are from me accidentally hitting the the F11 key for some reason. Oh my God, H1Z1. I think that was like, what, my first win in H1Z1? Which, funny enough, was like one of the first BRs. February 28th, 2015. It was 8 years ago. Look, there's Bloody Countess. She still hangs out here all the time. That's great. Oh, man. Wow, that's wild. Anyway. All right, let's play some games. This is weird. New game? I backed this game on Kickstarter, and it looked cool, and I'm looking forward to trying it. Ebba Boy, hell yeah, bud. Jock ASU, awesome. Look at this. That looks cool. Calypso NGC 6503 Communications 4. Atmosphere toxic, troposphere stagnant, ecosphere analyzing. No life forms detected. That doesn't seem right, does it? Toxic air, no life? We followed the coordinates precisely, been on autopilot most of the time. Why would they... Oh, Lord. Whoa! Time out. Time out. Oh, man. Oh, that's weird. Okay. So apparently if there's a... Sorry. I'm sorry. I opened up a a thing and it said tornado warning. And I was like, we do not get many of those here. So I followed it up, and apparently it's nowhere near us, which is kind of weird. I think it's using my old location data from when I used to live in Durham, North Carolina. Looks to be kind of close to there. Sorry about that. Okay. Steadfast beep. Sorry about that, buddy. Not sure what just happened. A ship malfunction, radiation or electromagnetic waves frying the receiver. Weird, but too little, too late. Look outside. We're here. Nukes incoming. World War III. That's too bad. Yeah. Oh no. Looks like that. Okay, we're good. It was a bit of a rough landing, but at least we're both still intact. Oh crap, the terminal's broken. We can't buy supplies until we get it fixed. Will you check out the Callisto Protocol story DLC on the 29th?
Nani?
Of this month? There's a Callisto Protocol story DLC coming out on the 29th of this month. I am online for generally between 8 and 12 hours a day. I have people talk to me of the latest news all the time. That is the first time I have heard of a DLC for Callisto Protocol coming out this month. I had no clue. Will I play it? Probably. Yeah, I probably will. I'll probably check it out. I mean, I had a good enough time in Callisto Protocol to check out a DLC. Oh, it was just announced a few days ago. Huh. I did not see that. Yeah. J-Man says meth habit starting earlier than you thought. No. July is pretty chill. July and even early August is pretty chill. Mid to late August is when things start getting a little hectic. Yep. That's when things start hitting the fan, as it were. Mm-hmm. Okay. We made it. We made it, QWERTY, our new home. Curious beat. Come a long way, but hopefully we'll have been worth it. The PGP wouldn't send us all the way out here if it weren't a complete waste of time, right? Don't answer that. I'm trying to stay hopeful. My name is Player. But whatever happens, at least your tracks will be right next to my footprints. Let's go and see what the PGP sent us here to do. Hey, look at this. This looks kind of cool. Matter manipulator, mining laser, spray, gust, omni tool. Oh, okay. Whoa, this is a lot of stuff. Your Omniac collates knowledge of new worlds. It fills in as you discover new items, and it contains a lot of useful information for surviving on a new planet. Each discovery yields Omni stars that will earn you respect from your peers. Press O to open the Omniac. Okay. All right. Dear Star Stewart, Your ship reports a safe landing on Calypso. As a Star Steward, you are tasked with establishing a colony on this new world. Congrats on your first expedition. Calypso falls under the jurisdiction of the Pan-Galactic Parliament, PGP. The PGP is entitled to a share of the profits resulting from all human ventures on the planet. Failure to comply will result in the revocation of your title as Star Steward, as outlined in section of your contract under the heading Punitive Measures Continue. We will provide resources to ensure that the colony on Calypso flourishes. For instance, we are giving you an Omniac, which gathers information about flora and fauna you may encounter on the planet. It updates automatically as you interact with the environment. Your first task as Star Steward is to cultivate the land. All colonies need a reliable source of food. Research your surroundings and clear the area of debris in order to begin farming. Okay. Cool. I remember doing this exact same thing at the beginning of my Stardew Valley playthrough. So I'm okay to keep doing it. A whole new world. No, okay. Earn archaeology Omni stars. 'Chonky crystal? Yes. Is that Commander Keen? Yes. Wow! 10 years later, and you still make me laugh. Dearest friend, always a great time. Raziel with the $20 tip to the mod team. Raziel, thank you so much for your support. Girl, I appreciate you. I will always associate you with that vampire game. If you remember Raziel. that game was so cool, and I feel like it could have been so much bigger. But yeah. Thank you, Raziel. It's been a pleasure having you here. Heat ice crystals with your laser tool to refill your spray tool. Am I draining it? What? Okay. Don't worry, everyone does. I hear ya. I am not getting archaeology Omni stars, and I am pissed about it. Performing activities drains stamina, some more than others. The later it gets at night, the more exhausted you will become. Sleep in your bed to refill your stamina and begin the next day. Okay. Is that done? Oh, that's done. Can we blow this? Milk root seed. All right. Yeah, Raziel, what are you working on these days? What's your you're still in game dev, aren't you? I want to say you're still in game dev, but I don't remember for sure. I think you've been here 10 years, so you've gone through a couple jobs, so. Game gives Cohh a nice glow on his skin. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. All right. Am I just slow, or is this a new Cohh channel? I've had a few Aqua Luna beverages, so I'm not sure if my confusion is my own fault. No, this is a brand new Cohh channel. This is Cohh, not CohhCarnage. So you're on the twitch.tv/Cohh right now. Yep. You can check out the video in the Cohh.tv/new channel command if you're interested, or you can just hang out, keep drinking your beverages like I am, and enjoy your evening. Brand new channel, same old boring Cohh. Yeah. Oh, really, Raziel? I'm unemployed currently, got laid off some time ago, starting back up the stream this week and hitting school next week. Oh, cool. Well, good for you, Raziel. Hey, for the record, okay. Raziel, I don't know how old you are, but I think you're I think you're significantly less older than me. Just for the record, what is it? 2023. In 2011, I quit my job, went back to school, and started streaming. You're 29 years old. Yep. I started streaming when I was at the end of 28, almost 29. So, but yeah, Knight Rider has just gifted Raziel a sub. That's very cool of you. Thank you, Knight Rider. Thank you. But yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Oh God. I just realized Raziel is following the path, like my exact path. So that means Raziel is the next CohhCarnage, which means I am already on the way out. Sigh. All right. Enjoy your newfound fame, Raziel, I guess. It was a good run. It was. Oh no, I actually went back. No. Funny enough. So what I did, many of you have heard this story before, but I'll tell it again in a TLDR. So I was at Raziel says, sorry, bud, happens to the best of us. It does. I actually was working in IT. I was working at a clinical research institute, and the place that I worked was a university. So there were people that were affectionately called lifers. And lifers were people that were going to work there long enough to basically get a retirement. And there was this thing at the place that I worked. I think it was called 2020. I think it was called 2020. And what it basically meant is you either worked there 20 years or you worked there until you were X age minus 20. And if you did that, then you basically got like a retirement stipend, and everybody basically worked towards that. So people would work at this university for, in some cases, like 10, 15, 20 plus years, so they could get on this like stipend to live out the rest of their days on. And the thing about this job, end of day. Okay. The thing about this job is that I entered this job like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, right? I was like, I'm going to do the best I can. I want to excel. I want to do well. I want to impress people. I want to push the envelope in a positive way. I want to do great. And I worked at this job for a few years. And it destroyed me as a person. It destroyed me as a person, because what I came to learn and find out is that a big part of the IT world is not doing well. It's not taking pride in your work. It's not being the best employee you can be. A lot of IT, and I later came to fundamentally understand this. A lot of IT is figuring out, it's like a game. Figuring out the least amount of work you can do to get your regular paycheck. And this is not just IT. This is a lot of jobs where the idea is you're there for many, many years. And the problem with that is that that's soul crushing to anyone that has the slightest amount of work ethic. It is the opposite of everything you want from life. Like it's this weird feeling of learning to game the system so you can do the least amount of things to keep getting your paycheck. Because if you're in that situation, which I was for years, if you're in that situation, to be frank, it sucks. And as a person, it is slightly killing you every day. It is slightly killing everything that makes you special every single day. So funny enough, what happened to me is I worked at this job for like years of my life. And one day, finally, I was already pretty fed up with the job. But one day, finally, I got pulled into my boss's office and they said, okay, here's the deal. We want to potentially promote you to this other team. And it would come with a double-digit pay increase. And that's great. And I said, oh, that's awesome. Okay, think about that. And then the next day, they called me in again and they said, okay, here's the deal. There's this thing called SharePoint. And many of you are going,
Nani?
And that's fine. There's this thing called SharePoint. And what we want to do, and we don't use SharePoint at our organization. And what we want to do is we're going to send you to Texas. And you're going to learn at a boot camp how to use and implement SharePoint. And we're going to pay for all this. And then you're going to come back to our organization. And you are going to be the person that runs SharePoint for our entire organization. Now, let me be clear. I worked for a clinical research institute for a relatively well-known university on the East Coast of the United States. This was a big deal, and was actually going to come with an almost 2x pay increase with what I was getting. And I was already being paid relatively well. So I'm sitting here at the time going like, oh my God, like this is big. Like I can do this, offering this to me, like this is great. And as I'm walking out the door, my boss at the time goes, by the way, if you take this position, and I was 30 at the time, just under 30. And he goes, by the way, if you take this, it's not going to be in your contract, but we would request that you stay with the company for at least the next 10 years. And the second that last word left his mouth, so it was literally like somebody reached a finger into my brain and like connected dots that weren't there before. And I went home that night. I got some sleep, and I walked in the next day, and I quit. I said, nope. Not only do I not want that, but I am quitting this job.
Applause, please.
I'm going back to school for game design, and like, no. Because like everything, like at that point, like everything snowballed. I realized that by taking that job, I would be pledging to become that person that does everything I can to meet the bare minimum for the next decade of my life. Like it was like, okay, Slash says, can you explain what the issue was? The issue was that every single person I was working with was being rewarded for doing the minimum. And so many times I had tried to go above and beyond and been punished for it. So I realized that by being in that environment for the next 10 years, I would be poisoning myself. Like there are some environments where you have to realize that it may be beneficial to your bottom line, but it is literally committing seppuku to any kind of drive or personal growth that you may have as a person. So like that is so I basically went in and quit, went back to school for game design, and in the first 3 months of going back to school for game design is when I found Twitch. And that's how, and then I also was like, while I'm in game design, I also do DJing. So there was like this whole year where I was like exploring and trying to find myself and trying to figure out what I wanted. And it was wild. But here's the thing, TLDR, I'm starting to feel like Cohh is telling me this just for being lazy and doing exactly this. No, let me tell you this. I'm not trying to say this because I think any of you are being lazy in what you're doing. What I'm trying to tell you is that we have so little time on this planet before we are removed from it. Do something you are proud of. Do something that you want to do that at least brings you joy. So if you're the kind of person that is in a dead-end job, don't necessarily go quit. Don't walk in tomorrow and quit. Absolutely not. But start transitioning to the mindset where you're like, let me spend my free time doing something I really want to do. Let me start spending my free time and doing something that at least brings me joy and stuff like that. So it's because here's the thing. I was in that position for years of my life where I was on autopilot. I didn't do anything. I realized that by selling, the people around me were getting angry because I was making them look bad. And it was bad. And it took me getting to a point where like a switch was flipped before I got to that point. So the least I can do is kind of like tell my story and tell you that absolutely the situation sucks. I went through it for years. It's not like I went there for 2 days and then all of a sudden everything was fine. I went through it for years of my life. I didn't start streaming until I was 30 years old. Most kids are already done with their career before then. You know what I mean? So it's the kind of situation where it's never too late. And at any point you can start doing something in your life that makes you feel more meaningful. I talked at length with one of the people that is working on my house. And you know what his big passion is? Remote controlled airplanes. And you know what he's working towards right now? He's already working towards taking his passion of remote controlled airplanes, and he's already starting to sell drone style videos for major events. He is pioneering a new thing while doing something else in his life. And you could totally do that yourself. I was like, dude, that's rad. That's awesome that you're doing that. You're doing what you do to pay your bills, while at the same time you're pursuing a complete passion in your life. That's fantastic. So yeah. Anyway,